On. We could do that
Oh,
really
put your
quick.
earrings in.
Hey guys, I forgot to put my earrings on. I just had the thought. Happy Seed Bead Saturday, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Hey guys. So I have on my earrings that I'm going to teach you today. I have some necklace style to teach you today, but I am featuring the Spice of Life. It's the fall 2025 Sam's Gem Box. And so I have been playing with this. I've made a lot of jewelry. And I thought for today, we would just go and start making jewelry, and I'll show you some of the cool ways that I was putting it together. Now, this box was part of the SoftFlex Customer Appreciation Week that they had all last week. And all of those are available for replay, including the live that Sam did on Wednesday with this same box. And so if you're looking for more inspiration, you can find the replay of that on, I believe, on both channels. And then I also wanted to show you some other ideas that you can use with this box. So that was my plan for today, but we can always go off script. But the main feature is I'm using some SoftFlex copper color metallics. In fact, everything I made was constructed on the SoftFlex metallics copper. And then I used some 2x2 crimps. So that's these right here. They're 2x2 copper crimp tubes from SoftFlex. And I'm using the magical crimper. I finally learned how to do this. It took me like 5 million tries, but now that I get it, I can teach you guys because I didn't understand how to use this before, to be totally honest. I was really struggling. So let me just see who's here. I want to say hi. Hey, guys.
Hi, everyone.
And so there are 7 boxes left for the Spice of Life. So that's great. I wasn't sure if there were any left, so thank you so much for adding that. And if you want to run over there and snag it, I have a feeling these are going to go really fast, guys. And I've used almost every bead in the box at least once. So I think I have enough to demo more samples today, but I'm like, this is like one of those times where something this packed with this many beads, and I've actually used like most of them. It goes a long way, but there was nothing I wasn't excited about.
Yeah.
Of course, it's earth tones, so you know.
Yeah. It's a good box. It really is.
It was a really good one. So I've never really not loved the gem box. So to be honest,
same.
This one really, like they're like chef's kiss, right?
Yeah, chef's kiss.
So true. So let me see if I've got any questions popping up, and then I'll go to the mat and we'll just dive in and we'll start making beautiful things. Hey, Jenny. Hi, Lori. And let's see. I'm just going to switch my camera really quick and go on to the mat here. And don't worry, I'll give you a better view of these earrings I'm wearing. I just wanted to put them on because they look so cool when you're wearing them. Oh, hey, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Hi, Heather. So one of the things in the box were these wonderful wooden beads. And when I looked at them, the first thing I thought was earrings. And I made what I think started as a couple of different versions. This was the perfected version of a little tassel earring. And so I'll show you how this was constructed. It's definitely a really fun way to use your beading wire, I think. But it makes just a little beaded tassel. It's not super heavy, especially because the wood is very light. So you get a statement earring that, you know, also another thing that's really light are the amber chips. So let me introduce a few things in the box really quick. So the kind of the ones that I thought were an unusual find, something I hadn't played with before. So one of them was, I just had it. I might have set it out. Here we go. Okay. So these are super lightweight little chips of amber. And let me get you guys the name so I get it right. So these are not the large amber chips, but the smaller one, I believe. And right there at the top, actually. So these are the amber pebble chips. And they are used prominently in my necklace designs. So what I did was I took the beading wire and I did these little, kind of like little floral pops. So it's a kind of a neat way to use any kind of chip bead really, but particularly nice with these super light amber. They made a really, really nice look. There's a larger version. And these large ones are on here as well. Large amber chips. So these are going to be like 12 to 20 millimeters in size. And when I first saw those, I felt like I was holding like a little fire glove. So they look like this. Let me open up this bag really quick. Aren't those pretty? So unusual, something really different. They feel very fall to me. They feel like I'm like in the kitchen working with saffron and spice. And then they also had another feeling to me as well. That's kind of like being in a forest. So those are some of the main features. And then there's petersite. So these are petersite cubes. And those are really fun. There's wood jasper smooth rounds floating around in there. There's banded agates. There was even some pearls, carnelian hearts, bronzite. And I was really drawn to, let me show you guys this one here. These are so pretty. I used these in the earrings, and I used these in one of the necklaces as kind of a focal bead. And let me get you the name for those. So many beautiful things. So let me know if you guys see it. It's the, oh, there we go. It's a garnet faceted oval. Look how pretty that is. So everything in here is just beautiful, warm earth tone goodness. And there are these, I think these were bronzite smooth squares. And I used those in a really cool design with the wood jasper to kind of a cool little bracelet here. And then last but not least, the thing that also stood out to me were these carnelians. The carnelian is cool because this is a larger carnelian. It's a little bit larger bead than, you know me, I tend to go with those smaller beads, but I got the experience of adding large focals when I was doing some of the design work here. And there's a lot of large focals in this box that I haven't used yet. So there's this beautiful one. This one is a wood jasper pendant, and I feel like it would be really, really pretty with the wood jasper rounds. So that's just a little slice of what's in the box. I have a reel coming up that I did with Sam's Bead Shop that's going to show you how I made all of these bracelets. But if you have questions about them, let me know. But I thought today we would just dive in playing with some beading wire, necklace and earrings. Oh, Heather, yeah, I agree. So it was really cool. He did a really elaborate bracelet that I thought was something I hadn't seen before. Really stunning way to combine into two strands with the larger beads as the centers. So if you didn't already catch his live with SoftFlex, he was on with Sarah on Wednesday. That one is definitely one you want to catch because it was really cool. Okay, so let's see. Do you guys want to do the necklace first? Let's just jump in on, oh, thank you, Lori. Yeah, so I'm going to jump in on the necklace. I do have two styles to show you. They're the same process, but I just mixed up the different beads that space things. So I've got wood jasper happening on this one. I went with 3 in the center. Then I went to the petersite cubes, the banded agates, and then there's these little tiny, I believe these are also garnets. Let me find them really quick. They are, yeah, forgive me. There's so many beautiful things in here. They're little tinies though. Let me show them to you. I need to get one of those little trays like what Becky and Jenny use when they do their organization. But these ones right here, are these tiger's eye? These might be the tiger's eye, actually. Yes, these are the 4.5 millimeter red tiger's eye smooth rounds. I knew I loved them. I really love tiger's eye. And so I went to town. I used most of these. but they became essential in my floral component that I made. And the basics of the floral component are 3 of the amber pebbles and then those 2 tiger's eye. And they pop out of this cool spacer bead. And this one, I believe, is the hematite. So it's like a golden hematite cube with copper plate. So let's get that out. We're going to need that. All right. So I'm going to get some of these ready. So there's those. Here's our little pebbles. And then the first bead on here. Oh, I forgot to mention the pearls. There's a handful of these really gorgeous little pearls in here. And they're cultured freshwater rice pearl in like a brown dye. I used those with the faceted ovals, the faceted garnet ovals. So this is the one I think I will demo for you guys today. But again, you could also use the wood jaspers for something a little more statement and bold. And you could really honestly use any of the larger beads as the gemstone featured in between the little pebble scallopy thingies. So I don't really have a great name for them. If you guys have a great name, please let me know. I don't know what to name these. I originally called them blossoms, and then I went with little florets and then little loops, but they're really cute. So let's go with this design here. So you've got just enough of those. So basically that's our main design, and then we'll have the little chip space. So you will need some seed beads. These are on the website, Sam's Bead Shop. These are an 11-0 Miyuki Silverline Gold. You could really use any 11-0 seed bead that you want. Let's just get a few of those out. And then how much of the wire you're going to need. So what I did is I decided on my necklace length, and then I added about 4 inches to that for maneuvering the clasp. And then in addition to that, you're going to want to add at least another 1.5 inches for however many florets you'd like. So really what I did is I just kind of went with a necklace length and cut a little bit extra. So maybe if you want to go a little over and just making sure you have enough. Oh yeah, fan flowers. So for each fan flower, you could add 1.5 to 2 inches. Oh yeah, the wood jasper pendant. You know what? It could. You would want to put it on a jump ring. Let me get it out really quick. So Lisa was talking about this pendant that you guys got in the box. So if you wanted to use that as for example, in place of this one, it would look cool. It would just hang right there in between the florets. You'd probably want to put a jump ring on it or create a wrapped loop of some kind with some wire. Another thing you could do is you could use some medium strength beading wire to create a bail. That's another way you could use that. It'd be a really good idea. Let me set that aside. We get time at the end. Maybe we play with that. But so I went ahead and cut my beading wire, and then I did work this from the midpoint. So bring your ends of your beading wire together and string on your center bead. So whichever bead you want to be that center bead, which for me, I'm going to go with the faceted garnet. And we'll have that be on there. Let me just move this. Okay. So with the seed beads, what you're going to want to do is let's work one side first. We'll put on 2 of the 11-0. And then you put on 1 of those hematite cubes. And now we're going to make our first flower. So to make the flower, first you're going to need some of these little 4.5 millimeter rounds. And then choose any 3 pebbles you want. And one piece of advice I would give is for the longer pebbles, any of them that are super, super long, go ahead and take those out and they can become a bracelet later. What you want to go for are some that are 6 millimeters or smaller, because they're going to look like that when you string them. So if you want to just select out some of the less long ones, because the super long ones are you're gonna be wearing them like this against you, right? So they might flip around, and if they try to flip this way, they'll be too tall to fit inside of the little loop we've made, if that makes any sense. See how this one, it would be taller than where I've got my cube. So you want to select out the ones that are about yay big. And there's plenty. So you'll have plenty to select from. And so some that look like that. Oh, excuse me, I'm having allergies today, so apologies for my snifflies. Who gets allergies in September? I don't even know. Evidently I do. Either that or I've got a cold and I'm in denial. So basically what you're going for is that. So you see you've got your 4mm and your pebbles and your 4mm. Now you want to loop back through with your beading wire and go through your cube bead. So go just through the cube. There we go. And so you'll get one of these beautiful little pops. And so that is our first one, ready to go. Oh, Darlene says all year, yeah. Oh, and Leslie too. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, and we still have very warm weather, and we still have things blooming out there, so there you go, 2 more 11-0s, and now you're ready for your next focal bead, whatever bead you would like from your beautiful box. I did go with the pearls, so I thought that looked stunning. So I'm just going to match what I did here on the other side. This is going to be symmetrical going both directions. So we'll go with 2 seed beads, cube, and then I'll need 2 more of these. There's one of those. And here's a pebble. And then I just want one more small pebble. Let me get this over here. There we go. One more of my rounds. And slide that down. And then just go back through your cube. And try to get it to sit right next to you want to lock it in like that. Keep everything nice and close. And when you pull tightly, it'll sit just like that. And let's get our next pearl. Oops, I forgot my 2 seed beads. Sorry about that. And those 11-0, all they do is they just kind of get you over the 4mm bead. You'll notice if you forget, because you want to make it so the next bead can kind of be spaced just right. Okay, so here's that. That's so pretty. So that is the process. I'm going to repeat that twice more on both sides. Let me show you the finished one so you can see where we're headed. Going to go from the pearl to a banded agate, and then we'll start with the petersite cubes. I'll go a little quicker, but let me know if you guys have questions. I just want you to be able to see it kind of coming together. It's really fun. Here's this one. String that down. And then we'll get some more of these. Actually, at the risk of them rolling away, I'm just going to go ahead and get those all ready. I have a feeling I'll use these all up today. And let's get a little pile of these going. I saw a comment earlier that you guys love the metallics. I do. I love the SoftFlex metallics. I think it's probably my favorite of all of the beading wires. So here I'm just going back through the cube. And right before I pull everything through, I tighten it so that the cube is touching the seed beads and touching the bead before it. Just want to keep that nice and tight. There we go. 2 more. And let's grab one of those beautiful other beads. Got these ready. So we'll get 2 of those. So far, so good. It's just really coming together quickly. It's not a challenge, but it looks, it looks more complicated. So here's some of those. Number 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 more of our 4mm, and let's head back through the cube. And so this step right here, you see me doing is I'm tightening that up right there. And if you get, every once in a while, I'll get one like this where there's a lot of space right there. You want to consume that space. So the best way to do that is to pull from this side so that you can get it a little tighter. And then if you push those beads up to the opposite of the side that's being pulled through, you can get a little tighter seal. See, like that? All right, we're almost done with our little loopy part. So 2 on this side, 2 more on this side. And again, these are 11 seed beads, guys, that I'm adding here. So I need a bronzite on each end. So let's go with this one here. Oh, sorry, this is a garnet. I don't know why I called that bronzite. Forgive me. These are the faceted oval garnet. And then we'll go 2 more seed beads. Let's pick up these 3 cubes here, or sorry, 3 pebbles. Tiger's eye. Oh, I forgot the cube, guys. No. It's a mindfulness test, I think. There we go. Well, that gives me a chance to put the longer one of these in the center. All right, now I got it. Back to the cube. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and push those around the loop in that direction so that when I pull through, they'll be tight against that side. So what do you think? Do you guys like it? Yeah, they are stunning, right? The garnets. Oh my gosh. Look at them close. They're like, and I don't know if my camera is showing it, but there is some transparency happening. So you can kind of see it's really prominent on this one. They glow. Like almost everything in this box has a glow to it. I always enjoy working with, I mean, pretty much everything, honestly, but this one for especially a lot. I really enjoyed working with this one. And at first glance, it appears to contain some challenge pieces when you first open it up, and then they end up being the thing that inspires you the most. That's been happening a lot lately. So 1 more of these. So truth be told, I usually blast music when I'm designing. So what would you guys be listening to? Right now I'm listening to myself talk, but normally I have something playing. And I feel like I do the best design work when I'm playing pretty loud music, honestly. Like, you know, not like super loud, but loud enough. All right, here we go. Okay. So that was one of the ideas that I'd had. Let me hold it up for you guys. And we just did that all together in like less than 12 minutes. So it's a really speedy, fast design that you can create in any format you'd like. And then all I did from here was I created a pattern. So this pattern is very easy, super, super easy. You just go with gemstone. Well, so in this case, I want to get more of these out. I was really in love with these. Look how cool they are. Look at the color on that. I feel like I need more of these in my life because I'm going to use them all up. But this one is one of the ones I used in a chain. You can really get away with using anything in this chain. And then I went with 2 seed beads and then a cube and 2 seed beads and another gemstone. And then in this case, I switched to the banded agate and so on. And what I usually do when I'm making these kind of designs is I'll string them, a couple on each side, and then repeat what I did on the other side. There's 2 more. And where's, oh, I need a few more of those. Here we go. So you see, it's just coming together just like that. So I have to go ahead and string the rest of my chain. And so what I'll do first is just show you really quick here. It's a little bit of a process, and it just, you know, is a mindfulness thing where you just count 2 seed beads, gemstone, 2 seed beads cube to your desired length. And then up here at the top, I just did a crimp. And the fine metallic can go back through an 11-0 seed bead. So when I do my crimps, and you're going to see this on the earrings. Oh, thank you so much, Philomena. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so this is really easy to do. What I was thinking, guys, is, oh, how heavy is the finished necklace? Okay, so actually, Kathy, it's really light. It's incredibly light because these amber chips weigh almost nothing. Like when you're holding them, it's like there's nothing in your hand. They're incredibly lightweight. So I don't have a gram scale with me at the moment, but if I had to make a guess, I would say this entire necklace right now weighs about, I don't know, 3 ounces or something, maybe 4 ounces. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and set this over here, guys. Just for now, I'm hoping at the end we'll have time to come back and chat while I string and I can show you finishing the ends. But I really just wanted to show you that focal, how to do that focal. From here, you're just stringing and then you're going to add some crimps and some findings. But let's keep it handy because I think we might have time to come back to it. But I really want to show you how I did these earrings, and they're not complicated, but there's a process. So how they're made is I used, in your box, you're going to have 3 of these. So you'll have enough to do a pendant like this too. Oh, that's cool. Philomena, that's awesome. And so this is the wooden bead, the 3rd one that I've got. I'm gonna use that to demo, but it can become, if you don't want it to be an earring, a gorgeous tassel pendant on a necklace. But it was just so light, and it looks so cool when you're wearing it. So in addition to that, you're going to need more of the 11-0 seed beads. And then I don't need any more of my chips, so I'm going to move my pebbles over there. And I don't think I used any cubes. Oh, no, I did. I used some cubes. So we're going to need tiger's eye. We're going to need a few cubes. We're going to need some of our garnets. We'll need the Petersite faceted cubes. Here's a new one I haven't gotten out yet. Oh, we do have pebbles on there. Forgive me. I forgot there's some pebbles. So we're going to need a couple of those. The carnelian hearts. And yeah, we're going to bring back 3 of those. Let's go with those 3. They're hiding right there. Okay, and so this was honestly what I did here was my goal was to make a tassel. I was just having a really good time with the idea of making different tassel designs. So you're not stuck with what I did. Just play and see what you get. I'm going to hold these up really quick. Aren't they pretty? Look at those. They're very shiny and just gorgeous. Just need 1 of those. And then more banded agate. So the banded agate's another really lightweight one. Weighs almost nothing. So I kind of focused on those for earrings. Okay, so let's get our beading wire. And so you're going to want to start with, I eyeball it, so let me measure. Let's see. For example, if you're doing this at home, measure the thing you need to go through first. So we know at a minimum, I'm going to want to put 2.5 inches on there for maneuvering it, right? So, and then we're going to want whatever length of tassel. Times. You might be able to get away with 5 inches. It depends on how long you want your tassel. Also depends on the size of the bead you're going through, the wooden bead. But we'll just do 3 6-inch segments. One of them can be a little shorter because when I show you the steps, we're going to trim one of them a little. One of them doesn't have to go all the way through the bead. I'll show you when we get there. But so you could even do like one that's a little shorter than that. But to keep it simple, I'm just going to go with round about 6 inches for 3 of these. Okay. So now we need our crimp beads. This does use quite a few crimps. Let's get a few out for now. And starting with our first one, string on your crimp. And then bring one end back through your crimp. So we're just making a little loop there. And I try to keep it so that it stays flat. There we go. Then what I do is I take the long side and just pull it. Now you can make this little end as tight as you'd like. It does not need to be large. So you can even make it that small. Just whatever you can crimp. And here's the magic crimper. So you could also just do a regular crimp here. If this is something that you're not comfortable using, go ahead and just make a regular crimp at this step. But my recently acquired, however, never demonstrated live before until now, skill of doing this is magic crimp. So I made what's kind of like a little ravioli shape right there. Then you turn it, press it again, turn it a little bit more, press it again, and go around maybe 1 or 2 more times, and you'll get what looks like a little bead. It just looks like a little tiny copper bead there. Pretty slick, I think. And then go ahead and trim the end of that off. So no loop is needed. Let's make this one first, actually. We'll string on an amber bead. If you've got a little tail above your crimp, no worry. Just push that into the bead. It should disappear right into it. Doesn't it look like a head pin now? So it's pretty cool. Well, thanks, Carolyn. Yeah, I've been practicing. Truth be told, I've been practicing a lot. Because I really love the look, and I've watched so many people do beautiful, magic crimps, and then I try it and I couldn't get it right for the longest time, but I think I finally, knock on wood, finally got it. All right, and so there's 2 11-0. Let's go with my wood jasper. I'm just going to copy the design that I made originally because I really liked it, but feel free to do anything you like. And then my cubes. And I went ahead and I maintained that spacing of 2 seed beads for to make it kind of match with my necklace. Tiger's eye and a cube. So there's one. And using the fine beading wire gives it some shimmy and sway too. It's nice and wiggly. So set that aside. Here, I'm just going to move those. And we get to do this 2 more times for the bottom. So again, I'm just going to bring that through. And I usually bring it through just a little bit and hold that end. But the extra beading wire is helpful. You end up wasting a little bit, but it's nice to have something to pinch so that you don't, you don't have to like struggle to put a tiny little tail inside of a crimp. All right, here we go. First one. You know how I know I got it? Is that first ravioli will stick inside the tool and you actually kind of have to pull it out. Like, I feel like you need mold release to get it to come out because it's like stuck in there for a second. And that's how I know I did a good job on it. All right. Head pin. Let's go with the heart next. And there we go, 2 seed beads. Oh, actually, it looks like on my others, I switched to just doing 1 seed bead. I don't know if I might have played with that and decided for length purposes that I liked that. So let's go with that. I put a lot of thought into it when I was working on these for the first time. So I'm going to go with my original process there. Here we go. And we want one more 11-0 at the top of all of our beads. Let me bring this other one back. I'll put another 11-0 on top. So far, this is what we have. So pretty. Okay, one more to go. Ravioli time. See how it sticks in there? To kind of release it. And then turn it 90 degrees. And another one. And then I just start going around and around. If you're looking for this tool, forgive me for not checking in advance, but I don't know. They might be some in the check the tool section on Sam's website. And then if you don't see it there, I know for sure they've got it at SoftFlex. And so now I've got my garnet. And then 1 seed bead. And then these amazing cubes that just look like a tree to me. They're so cool. Does anybody know? I'm really curious. So Peter's site has become, I'm fascinated with it now because I just loved it in this box. And I'm curious what it's made of. Is it petrified wood? Because it certainly has that feeling. And it's not heavy either. All right. So before I finished, and this is a great way for you to experiment with your tassel, pinch them so that each of the top beads is kind of in your fingers. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, I believe that these are the coolest thing in the world. Now that I know how to use them, I'm so into it. But there it is. So you can experiment with your tassels. If you're at this step, it's easy to change it. So just kind of hold it in your hand. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to bring on another crimp bead. And this time we need to feed all 3 through the crimp. So this is why I went with fine on this design. We'll get all 3 on there. And now what I'm doing right now is just lining up the seed beads so they sit kind of in a row with each other. And I'll slide that down a bit. So you're not going to want to crimp it right against the top because you don't want to cause them to fan out. So maybe just like 1.5 millimeters above your last bead. Go ahead and place that crimp. There we go. So see, I'm just turning it, and turning it. Nope, Lori, they're not heavy at all. They're light. I think the heaviest gemstone on here is maybe the carnelian and the garnet, but I was very surprised. So the amber weighs nothing. The wood, maybe the wood jasper weighs a little bit. And there's only one of those. The petersite's so light. The banded agate is light. And these other beads are so small. I got to start bringing a gram scale. Remind me to do that next time. So there's one feature here that I think the wood bead ends up being the perfect bead for something like this. If you're working with another type of bead, it's handy if it's a large hole bead. Because a large hole bead, you'll see the crimp is going to settle into the center of this one. Oh, forgive me. I might need to get a beading awl. I think I recall this one had a little bit of a block in there. Every once in a while on a drilled wood, you get that. Let's see what I've got. 1 second. It's right there at the top, so I should be able to get it. Apologies, guys. Let's see. If I can't get it to work with this one, I'll use one of the others, but I'm really hoping I can get it. Oh, beading needle. Hello, seed beater. There we go. Ha, I got it. You see what being a seed beater kind of saves your life sometimes? I'm not going to joke around. It's true. Beading needles are the bomb. Okay. And also a beading awl would totally work. Oh, a piece of wire. Thank you. Yes, I have tons of wire behind me. Give this one more go here. Here we go. Hang on. Wire it is. Let's do it. Let's go for some 20 gauge. I think 20 gauge is the way to go. Okay. Haha. Success. You saw it? Woohoo. That's really common with wooden beads. I've noticed that happens a lot. I want you guys to have a beautiful viewing experience here. So give me a second. The nerd in me had to do that. There we go. I think it's working. All right. Okay. So all you need is for 2 of those to go through. So I'm not going to try to feed that third one. Normally it would just go right through, but go ahead and trim one of those somewhere above your crimp, just a ways, right? So just one of those. And then go ahead and bring that on. And in the case of my wooden beads, that crimp went right inside of it. So if you have a bead where you can get that crimp to fit, you get this look that's like, that's so cool, right? Because it's kind of like you might look at it and think, hey, how'd you do that, right? But it's really just a crimp hidden inside of a bead with a little bit larger hole. Most wooden beads will accommodate a 2x2 crimped. So a wooden bead is kind of the way to go. But if you have a larger, a standard drill won't work, but something like a little bit bigger than a standard drill will definitely. And if you've got the Spice of Life, you've got 3 of these to play with. And then now you know the trick for if it has any little blocks. Wooden beads tend to have that like a lot. So 20 gauge wire, poke that through. Okay, so now I'm going to get another crimp. Oh, forgive me, I forgot. So this is up to you, but I really like the look of putting one little gemstone above it. That was really, really cute. Oh, bye, Jenny. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you later. You guys, Jenny and Becky have a live tonight. If you guys want to join us, we're all going to pop on over there at what is 5 p.m. my time Pacific. I believe that's 8 Eastern, if I'm right. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 Eastern. Colleen's in the chat. She'll tell you guys. And then, so bead on both. Crimp on both. Just feeding them just like that so far. And then take one of those beading wires, just one of them, go back through your crimp. And if you want to go through the gemstone as well, you can do that. And I might need to slide it up just a little bit for a minute so I can get the end of my beading wire. There we go. Okay, so 2 coming up through the gemstone, 2 coming up through the crimp. I fed 1 back down through the crimp and through the stone. So you see, just like that. I do need to tighten it up. So I'm going to pull this way first. Push that down. And then just pull a little bit. And now you have this to hold on to help you tighten. Which is always really cool. And then crimp or magic crimp, either will work. You can do either. There we go. And so just really carefully spin that around. Okay. So now you're going to have these 2 kind of like hanging out there wires. Just trim those. Here's the first one. And you can kind of just take your thumb and poke it into the bead. And then this top one here. Yeah, there we go. There's your earring or pendant. For me, this one's going to be a pendant because it's my 3rd one. So I'm going to pop a jump ring on that, or in this case, you might not even need a jump ring. And then you can just string that onto a necklace. And it will look really pretty. So let's see, we're still doing really good on time. Do you guys have any questions for me about any of the designs? Would you like me to finish the necklace while we chat a little more? Could bring this over and just start stringing. Hopefully the earrings made sense. Let me get the little wooden stuff off there really quick. There we go. But yeah, feel free to use a regular crimp too if you're feeling a little unsure about the magical crimper. But the magical crimper, the reason I thought it looked so cool really was just the way that this becomes a head pin. That's kind of what made me want to try harder to understand, because I've always loved that look. Yeah, and a pendant is perfect if you're feeling like it's heavy for an earring, which I don't think it's too heavy for an earring for me, but you can always put a post on it instead of an ear wire. That tends to make it a little bit better for wearing. A really pretty earring post. I'm in love with these. I think these are one of my most favorite things I've made in a while. Oh, you guys want to see the bloopers? So I made some other versions earlier. I didn't immediately arrive on this structure. I was playing, and my original idea was to make a bunch of these, which I didn't dismantle. And then I was going to just take another beading wire and go through that. Let me grab a little scrap here. And go up through a bead with that. So let me bring over, look at one of these. Almost had it. Sorry about that. I just want you to be able to see this other idea. But the thing is I felt like I wanted something covering that up. But what you could do right there, if you have a bead cap, you know what I mean? Like a little, any kind of bead cap would work there. Like, just a taller one, like one of, let me see if I can show you really quick what I have in mind. Do I have one in here? I do, yeah. So like, and there you go. And then you could even go through your bronzite cube if you wanted. But I stole this idea from Neil. This is something he does a lot. So I literally just copied what he does. But that's another thing you can do. And have you seen these little coral? I can't remember what those are called. Let me take a quick look. We're working on my memory. We definitely need to do that. What were these? Red coral tubes. Guys, those would be cool in a fringe design with seed beads. Yeah, those would be really neat. But yeah, so, so many ideas. You can really go to town. And this box is packed. So you're going to have a lot of extras and inspiration pieces and things like that. But yeah, so that's those. Let me bring the bracelets over again and show you those. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think that would be a fun idea. And here's again some of the other pretties that I made. I love making bracelets. And I love mixing up the gems and the sizes of gems and the colors. So this is actually a stacker. I wore all three of these together. And I just loved them. One of them, actually no, I had two of them. I don't know if it's jumping out, but I combined it. I used some size 8s. So these are the 8-0 in the same exact color. Also, these are on Sam's website, but they are used in combination to create some cool appearance of maybe a little bit of up and down wave. Do you see it there? It gives it something. So that was really fun. Oh, thank you, Liz. And that's what I did here too. With just the 11s on that. This one I've been wearing a lot. because it looks really cool. Thanks, Lori. I love all of these too. I'm really happy with how this one came out. Really enjoyed it. And now I have another necklace to finish. I can really do a lot of, this could even be a bracelet. I wonder if I should make that a bracelet. You know what? That would be a cool bracelet, wouldn't it? I think I might do that, even though I kind of intended it to be a necklace, but I've already got a necklace right here, so yeah, might do that. So let me just scroll. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions from you guys. I'm going to lay out these beautiful designs again. There's more than I can fit on a single bead mat. Let's see. Oh, Cecilia, you are amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. That is really cool. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. And Lisa's saying, any ideas for the large red ones? The coral. Yeah, you know, Colleen and I were just chatting about the coral. And you know what I would do with the coral? Actually, I would go back to this idea with these. And I would get a bead cap. Let me get that bead cap back. I should have kept that at the ready. But I would make it into a tassel pendant. And I would do it with, the way we did these, create those, but give yourself a top loop. So instead of just bringing it through and linking them all together, then go ahead and make that little loop at the top so you can put a strand of beading wire through it. Let me just find that little scrap of beading wire I had. It was really handy. Here it is. Is it going to be long enough? No, I need a little bit longer. That's okay. We'll get a little bit longer one here. Okay. So again, make each of these individually. Start with about 6 inches. Do your crimp there at the bottom like that. Then at the top, just make a loop. String them on to the midpoint of some beading wire. Bring those through any bead cap. And most of us have something like this in our stash. Just go through and there might even be some on Sam's website too. I don't know if he has bead caps like this, but I bet you he's carried them in the past at least. And so may have something like it. And then go up through. And that's pretty neat. It's definitely noticeable and memorable. These have a little weight to them. So they would be great on a knotted mala because they're going to make sure that, you know how sometimes our knots are pretty tight. They would be great for suspending that. Let's look at a few of those actually. So that's one. Here's a little bit smaller one. I want to get more educated on coral, so I'm not really up to speed on how it's formed and stuff like that. Let's get a little bigger one here. Actually, this one's a little smaller. Oh, there. So that's a little less big on that size. I think if you're going to do that, definitely bring out those tubes. Yeah, the red coral tubes really complement that. That's really pretty. So that was a great question. Any other questions I missed? I'm going to just scroll really quick and see. They do look like red peppers. Oh my gosh, yeah, for real. They do. Sorry if I missed that earlier. That was my first thought. It's really pretty. And they were the ones that out of everything in the box, because I don't know if I've mentioned before, but whenever I get a box from Sam's, my son, he gets to open it first. It's just a thing now. He recognizes the bubble mailer and the boxes and he takes them. And then he opens them and he lets me know what his favorites are. And these were the first he picked. He really liked these. He thought they were pretty cool. And then the other one he liked these. These are the carnelian rondelles. These are really pretty. But he always goes for the big beads. Like he grabs the biggest ones because he's not messing around when it comes to gemstones. He makes his selections known. I actually really like. I'm going to keep this out because I think I'm going to finish that I mean, just put that on a beautiful strand of gemstones and you've got, how cool is that? Okay, yeah, neat. Well, let's see. I'm going to bring myself back up and just scan questions or anything. Oh, thank you, Cecilia. I had a really good time. This box was easy. I mean, there's like so much inspiration. I feel like whenever when you have the right materials, it's just easy to design. It's like automatic. I literally go on autopilot, get all the tools out, get all the little pieces. The thing that I find myself diving for is findings. I'm always digging through my findings boxes, but I never have to worry about the designs. Just they just design themselves. Truthfully, they just start happening. I do feel like I got like a bunch of like spice on my mat right now, the desk. Oh, I want to try on the earrings and show you guys really quick. I know I had them on earlier, but now that you've seen them made, you might see them a little differently. Yeah, it was an amazing box. But yeah, see how cool these are? They're not too heavy. You can see like my ears aren't being pulled by them. And I had a really great compliment. I wore these out and I got asked about them not once, but twice. And the second person that saw them wanted to know where I bought them. So I'm like, they ask you where you bought them, you know, they look professional, right? And a lot of folks know I make jewelry. So if they're like, if they ask me if I made them because they know I make them, but when they don't know you, they just think, oh, wow, that's great. They thought, oh, is that from Chico's or something like that? And I'm like, nope, it's from Danielle and Sam's. So yeah, so cool. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I always have such a great time with you guys on a Saturday. It lights me up. And 5 boxes left. Oh yeah. So you guys want to get over and snag those. If you're catching on replay, still check, you know, you might find them. And I don't know if there's going to be any more, so you might want to snag these. They had beads in them that looked kind of rare to me, especially like some of the ambers and things like that. Oh, thanks, Spunky. Thank you so much. I'm happy. If I've inspired you, then I feel like my day is accomplished, right? So definitely makes me happy. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I'm glad you had fun. And thank you, Valerie. Love you so much. I have your card right here. Yeah, still have it sitting there. It has good energy. Oh yeah, I love it when the beads speak to me too. Exactly. They do pretty much design themselves. So this box, thumbs up. Good job, you guys. And good job for the folks at Sam's. So yeah, mission accomplished. Thanks, Sakaya. So I'm really happy to see you guys today, and I'll be back next Saturday for another Seed Bead Saturday. And then if you guys would like to join us tonight, I'm going to be over on Becky and Jenny Beading Together's YouTube channel. If you guys want to head over there, we're going to be doing some celebrating tonight. So, oh, Colleen's telling me there's a change to that. So check their schedule. There might be a change to what I just said that between now or before and after. So apologies. Well, thank you, Zandra. Thank you so much. All right, I'll see you guys for the next one and have a great rest of your day.